What's up, dudes? And welcome back again. Today is Volume 9 of Nintendo Switch games I highly recommend picking up before they become rare and expensive. Before we get into it, if you're a returning viewer and have not subscribed yet, please do so. It'll help the channel grow and I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, let's get into it. The first game I want to talk about today is Return to Shigaraki Island. This game is great. It's a horror visual novel, interactive visual novel. So in this game you play as Sen Akata, who is a detective in New York. One day he receives a mysterious invitation to Shigaraki Island in the testament of a millionaire. Together with Naneko, a girl with special abilities, he travels to the secluded island to solve numerous mysteries and murders. This game is definitely based on horror and mystery. It kind of reminds me of the movie Shutter Island. With this game, it's not really focused on the art, but it's mainly focused on the story and the atmosphere. The music is really good. It creates this really dreadful, kind of anticipation. So if you're into solving mysteries and murder cases, you're gonna love this one. And like I was saying before, this is actually an interactive visual novel, so there's gonna be points where you have to hide, you have to make choices quick. If you make the wrong choices, you will die. This game is really good. This is a great game to play with your morning coffee, or late at night, or even after work to relax. Highly recommend checking this one out. Number 2 is gonna be the Devil May Cry Trilogy Pack. The Devil May Cry series is absolutely amazing. If you played this game back in the day on the PS2, you will love this HD remaster. You play as Dante, who is a demon hunter, and you want to avenge the death of your mother and your brother. The gameplay is absolutely amazing. If you're a fan of Resident Evil, Blade, The Matrix, all that kind of aesthetic, kind of gothic vibes, Underworld, you're gonna love this game. Personally, I enjoy the first one and the third one the most. The second one is still good, but the gameplay is amazing in 1 and 3. This is a must-have for all fans of Capcom, Resident Evil, 90s aesthetic, gothic vibes. You're gonna love this game. And coming in at number 3 is gonna be Beholder 3. This game is a great little indie gem, in my opinion. You don't really have to play the first 2 games to understand this one. This is definitely a standalone game. In this game you play as this average person, and after finding a suspicious virus that has been planted onto your work computer, a high-ranking security officer saves you from serving a life sentence in the coal mines. You play as a spy working undercover as a landlord, who must break into tenants' apartments and search for contraband, and eliminate anyone your boss wants out of the picture. This is a great mystery game. There's tons of twists and turns. You don't know who you're really working for, if they're really with the FBI or not. This is another great game to play with your morning coffee, or at the end of the day to relax. The art style is pretty unique as well. I wasn't really a fan of it at first, but it really grew on me, and as it progressed more in the game, it got even better. This is definitely a hidden indie gem I highly recommend checking out. And number 4 is gonna be The Book of Unwritten Tales 2. This game is another great indie gem in my opinion. So in this game you play as 4 different characters. There's Wilbur, who is a gnome mage, and Nate, who's a narcissistic human, and Evo, who's a princess elf, and Critter, which is this furry alien creature. Together you partake in an adventure in the fantasy land of Anastasia. One day you realize that a magic force is turning beasts into puppies and castles into dollhouses. The 4 heroes reunite to combat this unusual transformation of Anastasia. This game is really cool. It kind of reminds me of Shrek in a sense, where there's a bunch of little hidden Easter eggs. You'll have Sully from Monsters Inc., the sword from Lord of the Rings, a cube from the game Portal. If you're into those fun, weird, quirky, point-and-click adventure games, you're gonna love this one. Highly recommend checking this one out. And last but not least is Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. This is definitely hands down one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. When it first came out on the PS2 back in the day, I wasn't really too much of a fan of it, but it definitely grew on me as I got older. So this game takes place in Avalis, where the empires of Arcadia and Rosaria are waging an endless war. I really enjoy this game as well too, because it's not based on your typical Final Fantasy where you're trying to save the world. It's more based on wars and nations. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy 11 and 14 Online, you're gonna love this game. This is another great Final Fantasy game that I highly recommend everyone checking out. Alright, well there you have it. There's 5 more games I highly recommend checking out before they become rare and expensive. Also, a little disclaimer for you guys. I'm not saying that I'm some magic guru and these games are for sure going to become rare and expensive one day, but seeing that Nintendo products hold their value insanely well, I can definitely see the games that I list in this series one day becoming rare and expensive. A lot of the games that I actually talk about in this series particularly are already going for 90 bucks, 120 bucks. They're getting up there in price, and we're still in the Switch's lifespan. So for those games to already become rare and super high in price, imagine 5 to 10 years from now. I may not be 100% right on these games, but I definitely say let's check back here in the next 5 to 10 years and see if I was right. Alright, well, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!